Nearly all shots are played with momentum in the swing, not by pulling the cue back, pushing it forward, not by muscle, not by power, not by force. Just one more thing on the break. Don't lift the back of the cue up. We're striking position is number 8 on the chart. Here we go. Straight through the ball, nice and smoothly. If we want to play lower to the centre of the ball, we push those fingertips down away from our body. The time that your body is the most relaxed is when you're halfway exhaled. Just drop the bridge down just slightly, ever so slightly, just a little bit below centre. And we come back just a little bit. White's not running very far. Once again, bring everything in, shorter, tighter grip, and try and raise that elbow directly up so you still get that straight line to the ball.
Hello and welcome. My name's Jeff Brunsmar and welcome to Jack Halligan's Coaching 8-Ball Clinic. Before we introduce Jack, some of Jack's accomplishment over the last 25 to 30 years are outstanding. He was a member of the 1996 World Team to go to England. He also topped the averages twice in England during this period. He's captained 12 state sides. He's also won a Queen's Award for the sport of pool and has also been elected to the Hall of Fame in 2003. And it's with great pleasure I invite Jack Halligan to the camera. Thanks, Jack.
Thanks a lot, Jeff.
With the making of the video, Jack, what do you hope to achieve from it?
Well, just in my travels around Australia with the shows, Jeff, as you know, I get a lot of players come up to me during the shows and want some helpful hints. And unfortunately, I get a bit frustrated that I'm only there one night and there's not much you can do in one night, and particularly when you're playing as well at the same time. And there's so much potential out there that hasn't been reached yet. And we've got to keep the stocks up. We're doing really well at the world titles. We've won a world title, and this year we were runners-up in the final. But it's a great sport, and just want to try and promote it the best I can. And the better quality players we get, the better. And we've got lots of incentives there now with the state, national and world titles for juniors, ladies and seniors. So we cater for everybody, and it's a great game.
Yeah, with the electronic world we're in, Jack, the DVD or video, whichever it may be, it just really opens up your coaching technique to virtually everybody in Australia. Well,
that's true. It works. What I'm showing everyone, Jeff, works for me. And all coaches have got different styles, the same as players have. But the feedback I get from the coaching I do in the shows, I usually do a 10-minute segment here and there, has been fantastic, and we've had some great reports back from people that have gone on and bettered themselves in the sport.
You obviously get a lot of requests, Jack, for personalised coaching, and this means that people can take it home and have it in their own lounge room at their own fingertips, the virtual coaching.
Exactly, and that's what it's all about. We just need to get it out there and get people, giving them something to improve on. Like, I think they reach their potential early, or their ability levels take them as far as they can go. They really can't take the next step unless they're given the guidelines to how to do it.
Yeah, and with tables at homes now, they can practice while they're watching the video, and it really gives them first hand to practice what they see on the small screen.
Exactly, and that's the practice they need. The more you practice what I show in this DVD video, the better you'll get at it.
Yeah, no, I think you should be commended, Jack. I think it's a great initiative to turn around and put these skills on video and gives the public of Australia a chance to really hone their skills.
Cheers, Jeff.
Well done, Jack.
Thanks, mate. The main aims of this coaching clinic we're doing today is to highlight the problem areas that players have, not only highlight them but show you how to solve them, and I'm sure if you pay attention to what we've got to do today, I guarantee to improve you all. The three main aims that we've got, the bottom lines, we're trying to learn to cue straight, which obviously will result in potting more balls. We're trying to control the distance the white travels, therefore reducing the amount of times we go in off, snooker ourselves, pot an opponent's ball by mistake, get out of position, unforced errors, so to speak, and also to teach us to be creative. to learn how to get in a position to pot balls, open a bad ball up with the same shot, bring a dead ball off a cushion, open the pack up. I think too many players these days, they tend to pot all the easy ones and leave all the hard ones to last. And that can create problems towards the end of the game, as you know. With the creativity in a game, the idea is to try to get natural position on a ball that you can pot, where you can bring a dead ball off a cushion or open a pack up. A little bit later on, we'll be explaining to you where you can strike the white ball if you happen to not have that natural position. So you can still get the white ball to come off any angle you like by hitting it higher or lower on the white ball. That information on where to strike the white ball that we'll teach you a little bit later on is totally useless to you unless you have sound basics. Now the basics are the most important part of the game, because the bottom line is if they're not sound, you won't be striking the white where you're aiming for anyway. So knowing where to aim is totally useless to you because you won't be hitting there anyway. We'll just go through the basics for you now, and we'll highlight a lot of problem areas that most players have got. It's not just you that's watching this. It was probably 990 out of every 1,000 players have got at least one of these faults. Okay, now first of all, to get a nice stance, the first thing we do is pick the cue up off the table, just tight enough to pick it up off the table. If you grab it tight, we don't want to tense this up and tense this up. We just want it nice and relaxed. And nearly all shots are played with momentum in the swing, not by pulling the cue back, pushing it forward, not by muscle, not by power, not by force. It's all just momentum in the swing. So don't grab the cue too tight and don't tense this up. I can't stress that enough. Then when you make your stance, you make a line to how you want to play the shot. Now I'm not aiming directly at the red ball here, because what a lot of players do is they line up directly for the red and then realise that that's not where they're going to pot the ball. So they lean over, and that's a big no-no. So when you're picking a shot, pick the line of the shot where you want to aim for on that red ball, and then you put your stance to the cue. So the cue's in a straight line now. Basically, we need to strike there to get that ball to go in the hole. So our aiming point is here, which as you can see is off dead straight with that ball there. Now, find a nice little comfort zone. So I'll put the tip up against the white ball. Just get a nice little comfort zone. Mine's about 6 inches in from the back of the cue from my back foot. Now my back foot is directly underneath the cue. I then take just half a pace forward, so we've got a parallel line for the front foot to aim for, parallel to the way I'm shooting. Then I just turn that back foot slightly and bend from the hips. Directly down, I just go straight down and I'm in line to play the shot. Now, when you're down and about to strike the white ball, we all feather the white ball. When you actually strike the white ball, this arm here, this back arm should be dead vertical. This elbow here acts as a piston. You just draw the cue back slightly, not pull it back, just draw it back slowly, little pause and go through the ball. Okay, now, everywhere you play the white ball, every position you strike the white ball is governed by this bridge hand. Now, it's quite easy. All we have to do is put our palm down first, spread our fingers out, draw the thumb across, and if we need to play above centre for a follow-through shot, we simply draw our fingertips in towards our body, so we raise the tip of the cue to strike the white well above centre. If we want to play lower to the centre of the ball, we push those fingertips down away from our body, down to dead centre, and if we want to go lower than dead centre, anywhere down there, right down low for screw back shot, or anywhere in between, it's all governed by the bridge hand. And what that does in effect is keep the cue as level as possible to the bed of the table. Because at the end of the day, we're trying to roll the ball along the table. Too many players lift the back of the cue up like this. It's very hard to aim. It does affect your, the percentage of the times you pot the ball. Try it at most times. Obviously we can't do it at times when we're shooting over a cushion or another ball, But if you can just try and keep the cue as level as possible as you can, and it's all by this bridge hand. Don't lift the back of the cue up and down to get the position you want to strike the white. Okay, now, head has to stay perfectly still. Keep your head perfectly still. In fact, the only part of your body that moves in a shot is that elbow there. That's all that moves. Just back slowly, boom, through the ball. For those players that have had to make major changes in their basics, particularly their stance and that type of thing, sometimes you can actually feel uncomfortable with it because you're not used to it. And your game can actually drop back a little bit for a little while until you become accustomed to maybe you're stretching a muscle here and there if your stance has changed dramatically. So don't worry about that. If your game does go off a little bit, it will pick up once you become comfortable with the way I've shown you. Now, we've got a few little other practice techniques here, and this is a good one, and it is to do with basics, because if you're not standing right, you're not cueing right, you can't do this shot. And what we're about to do is shoot from one end of the table over a series of dots to hit the top cushion and come back, and the white ball should hit my cue, where I'll leave it where I play it. If it goes off to the left or the right, you've got a little basic problem there somewhere where you're hitting the white off centre. So you'll have to correct that. We have explained it earlier on. So it's just a good way of testing just how well your basics are. There was a coaching manual came out some years ago that had the stances, the foot imprints of all the champion players in the past, including Walter Lindrum, Eddie Charlton, and a fella called Jim Rempe, who was the world American 8-ball champion. They were all different, all those stances. The only one thing that they all had in common was their back foot was directly below their cue. So if they looked down, if they stopped and looked down through their cue, their back foot was directly underneath it. So that's an important matter, because some people don't have that happening, and there's no way they can cue properly if it's to either side of it. So that's an important factor, and that you can take on board when you're trying to get a good stance. Your breathing is very important when you're playing pool. A lot of young players at the national titles and other titles that I've been to, they come up to me stressed to the max. They got really nervous and they stressed out during a match. And what actually happened, they forgot to breathe. And it's important that you keep breathing while you're down, even if you're under the pump, you're under pressure. Don't forget to breathe. And there's a saying with the professional rifle shooters and archers that your best time to pull the trigger is when your breath is halfway exhaled. When you've got a full lung, your lungs are full of air, your body is under stress, and when it's empty of air, it's under stress. So the time that your body is the most relaxed is when you're halfway exhaled through a breath. So that's a good time to pull the trigger. That's what I do. Players that lift their head are never going to strike the white ball where they're aiming for. Here's one for head lifters to prevent it. When you line up a shot, when you make a bridge hand to play the shot, if you can pick this bridge hand up off the table like that, you can lift your head. But if you transfer a little bit more weight onto that front knee, like that, now I can't lift that bridge hand up off the table. You can't lift your head either. So that'll keep your head in place. You can't possibly lift your head while you can't lift your bridge hand. I'll now demonstrate the three basic shots to you. The follow through, where the white runs past the ball you're playing, the object ball, the stun shot, which makes it stop dead, and then the screw shot. Now remember, there's no effort in these shots. All shots are played with momentum in the swing, not with power and force and muscle. And always remember, just draw the cue back slowly, don't pull it back, just draw it back slowly, little pause at the end, and then through the ball. So here we go. Raise the bridge hand, get our cue nice and level, and make sure we go through the ball. Now, some people tend to stand too far back and they haven't got the scope to go through the ball. You need to perhaps put a little bit more pressure on that front knee and slide into the shot more so you've got the scope to follow through. 4 of our main problem areas are people that lift their head, jabbers, which we're just talking about now, they hit to the white ball rather than through it. We've already spoken about slicers, which are people that have the elbow out or in, slice across the ball. The other one is seesawers. Seesawers, the people that have that elbow that we talked about before that needs to be dead vertical to the ground when you actually strike the ball, they tend to have an angle on it like that. And what happens is the cue goes up and down like that. I'm sure many of you have seen those sort of players, or maybe you're one yourself. What you're doing there is you're simply standing far too close in. You probably hunch from the shoulders rather than the hips. Remember, we must bend from the hips. All you need to do, instead of seesawing the cue like that, is just come back, bring everything back, your bridge hand, your feet, right until you get to a nice comfort zone, and now you've got that vertical spot there again once your tip's up against the white ball. Okay, we'll now play the 3 basic shots. Remember, you don't grab the cue tight. I can't stress that enough. Just draw the cue back slowly, nice smooth follow through. Now, depending on how far you want to go through is in momentum in the swing. So if we just want a nice smooth follow through, we don't want to go through too far. We just stroke the ball back, a little pause, and through the ball in a straight line, okay? If we wanted to follow through a further distance, we simply keep dead still, nothing moves, just that back arm, back slowly and through the ball with a little bit more momentum. And we go through the ball. Of course, that's if our position for our next shot is down in this area here. Stun shot is played by striking the white dead centre. Now, we know that top spin is well above centre, we've just shown that. I think most of us, even though a lot of us can't do it properly, we know the theory that you strike the white low if you want the white to come backwards. If we strike the white dead centre, by dropping our bridge hand from our previous shot down to dead centre, that is neither backspin nor topspin. The white ball is skidding. So when we strike the white dead centre, it should stop dead. Like that. The reason I play very much a stun screw game is simply because the white ball is smaller and lighter than the ball we're hitting, the object ball. So it's naturally going to bounce back off that bigger and heavier ball anyway. So you've got a little bit of a head start. If you want to come backwards, that's the style of game I've got, and it works well for me. I'm sure it'll work well for you. With top spin, it's a little bit dicey because the white ball's naturally going to bounce back before it goes forward. Anyway, here we go with a long back spin. It's no effort in this shot, and the reason most people have trouble with the backspin shot is because they relate the distance they want the white to travel to power, force and muscle, and that's wrong. The distance you want the white to come back is in the technique of the shot and in the momentum of the swing and the follow through. Now, there was an old saying, I hear it a lot of times around the traps, people that have been taught by a pub player, to make the white come back, you lift the back of the cue up and jab the white on the bottom. Well, that is totally wrong on both counts. You do not lift the back of the cue up and you do not jab. You keep the cue as level as you possibly can and you let the cue swing through the ball, straight through the ball, low on the white, if you want the white to come back. Now, there's no effort whatsoever in a shot like that. That is absolute piece of cake. So I think once people realise that it's not power and force that's the trick, they tend to get more finesse in the shot. So just drop the bridge down once again and just go straight through the ball. The only part of your body that moves is that back elbow. It's dead in line with the yellow and the white. There we go. Now, the last shot we played was a screw shot, a long screw shot, where we came back to the rear end of the table here. Most people that want to come back varying amounts of backspin to varying distances, all they know, the ones that can do it, is backspin. All they know is right down low on the white ball. To get the white to come back a little bit, they strike the white down, right down the bottom of the ball gently. If they'd like to come back a little bit further, they strike the white down the bottom a little bit harder, and so on. The further they want to come back, the harder they hit it, but they strike it in the same place every time, right down the bottom of the white ball. Now, that varying your pace to do those shots is far too fickle. That's where we get the saying, I hit it too hard, I hit it too soft all the time. My way, I've got a number of spots between the centre and the bottom of the white ball. Remember, dead centre on the white ball skids the white to the ball, and right down the bottom brings it back fast. Now, there's a number of spots between the centre and the bottom of the white ball, directly down the middle of the ball, which will give you varying amounts of backspin. In other words, the lower you strike the white below centre, you're getting underneath the curvature of the ball more, and therefore the white ball is spinning quicker. So the lower you strike the white, the faster it spins. And to try and put your white ball in a more specific area rather than a general area, it's best when you want to come back a short distance or any varying distances between the centre and way back to this back cushion, to strike the white at a different height rather than play down the bottom harder or softer. Okay, I'll just show you hypothetically, if I strike the white, say at number 2, if number 1 spot is dead centre of the ball, and then I've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 down to the bottom of the ball in a direct line down the middle of the white ball, if I strike at number 2, just slightly below centre, hypothetically the white ball will be doing about 1 backward revolution between point A and point B, which is the white ball to the object ball. Therefore, it will just pop back a short distance. If I strike the white slightly lower at number 3, the white ball will be spinning slightly quicker. So therefore, it will come back that little bit further, and so on. I'll now demonstrate that to you. We played the stun shot. I'll just do that once more for you. A dead set centre of the white ball for the stun shot. So the white ball stops dead. Okay. I will now play the white just slightly lower than centre, and once again, the position you strike the white is governed by the raising or lowering the bridge hand. So we struck dead centre there before, now we just drop the bridge down just slightly, ever so slightly, just a little bit below centre, and we come back just a little bit. Okay, I'll now strike the white slightly lower than centre, a little bit lower than what we just did then. So we strike it at number 2, which is just a spot below centre. We'll now go down to number 3, which is a little bit further, and we come back a little bit further. Okay, we'll now strike the white even lower again, down lower, through the ball. So even though we came back a long way, we still didn't come back anywhere near as far as we did when we struck it way down low. So you come back varying amounts of backspin depending on how high or low you hit the white between centre and bottom of the ball. We just talked about the different positions on the white that'll bring you back varying distances backwards off the ball you're hitting in a straight line. Well, we're not in a straight line now. We've got an angle on this ball and we're going to play similar shots, and we're just going to show you by striking the white higher or lower between centre and bottom, and we'll do the top spin shot as well, how you can get the white to come off any angle to the left of the red ball virtually just by hitting the white in a different spot. Okay, now this shot's lined up for a good distance from the pocket, from a straight line. It's actually, I have to angle it into there. So I have to strike the red ball on the left-hand side, and we'll see how the different angles that the white ball will come off depending on where you strike the white. Okay, we'll just start with a top spin shot. Just nice and smoothly through the ball, just top spin. Here we go. Nice and smoothly through the ball. And the white ball has struck there. We'll now play the same shot, exactly the same angle, with a stun shot, which is dead centre on the white ball, and just nice and smoothly, dead centre on the white ball. and the yellow ball comes across this on this angle here. Okay? Now, I'm going to go as low as I can possibly go. I'm now going to strike the white as low as I possibly can. Just a nice smooth stroke, follow through nice and smoothly through the ball once again. Down low, as low as we can go. And you can see the route that the white ball took, simply because it is spinning backwards as fast as it could possibly spin, and the spin grabbed, it went off to the left of the red ball, the spin grabbed and brought it back down this line here. When we played the stun shot, it went across, straight across to there, and when we played the top spin shot, we went over to there. Now, I'm going to play a shot exactly halfway between the centre and the bottom of the ball. So the centre of the ball took us to that yellow, the bottom of the ball took us down to this yellow. So if I play dead centre between the centre and the bottom of the ball, we should come back through between those two yellows. Okay, here we go. Dead centre, right between centre and bottom. And that's exactly what we did. We came straight down the middle of the two yellows. So they're just 4 basic shots for beginners and people that just want to improve themselves. It's going to help you come off at different angles. Like, I mean, we did talk about trying to get into a position to play a natural angle for a position, or to bring a ball to a position, or to open up a pack. What we've just done just now and demonstrated is that you don't absolutely need the natural angle. There's still, by striking the white higher or lower, you can create an angle to still achieve the same goal. For example, if there was a group of balls in that area there that you wanted to bring off the cushion with the same shot, top spin would have done it for you. You run into those balls and you would have bounced the yellow out off the cushion and the red, and that red. If the balls were there, you'd play a stun shot, stun off the ball into the pack. If they were there, you'd play halfway between the centre and the bottom of the ball, open the pack up with the same shot. And if the pack was in that line there, or even down further down here, you would have opened the pack up with the same shot. So you're being creative, and you're still retaining the table because you've potted the ball. You're playing down the middle of the white ball, which is make sure that you don't add a degree of difficulty to your ability to pot the ball, which is the most important thing. And it just goes to show you that you don't really need side to play all these shots. Just straight down the middle of the white ball, it gives the appearance it's got side. When the spin grabs, when it comes off that red ball, it appears like you've got some sort of side on it. That's not the case. In fact, to most players, side is suicide. So try and keep away from it. Try and keep playing the ball straight down the middle of the table, straight down the middle of the ball, and you can achieve the same goals on most occasions. We'll just expand on what we just showed you. We're going to fill in a few of the gaps. We've just played 4 shots just now. The top spin, the stun shot, the screw shot, and the one in between, halfway between centre and bottom of the white ball. Now we're going to try and fill in a few more of those gaps with the 8 spots, just to show you that when you've got an angle, you can virtually go anywhere towards that side of the ball that you like, just by simply hitting the white in a different way or a different place. Now this shot here is once again not a straight shot. It is lined up for here. I have to angle the yellow ball into the centre pocket, and to do that I need to obviously strike the yellow ball on the left hand side to get it to go to the right. I'm going to start off with the screw shot as low as we can possibly go at number 8 on the chart that you've seen. And what's happening, this white ball will strike the yellow ball on the left hand side to pot it in the centre pocket. It will then dribble left. However, because it's spinning backwards as fast as it can possibly spin, it will then grab the spin or grab, and bring it back to this cushion. I'll then play each shot by slightly raising my bridge a little bit. We play the first one right down the bottom, slightly raise the bridge, maybe half a Q-tip, then another half a Q-tip, half a Q-tip, half a Q-tip, until we get right back up to the centre of the ball. And I'll just show you the different angles that the white ball can come off this shot. Okay, here we go. We'll start with the low as we can go down at number 8. We're striking position is number 8 on the chart. Here we go. Straight through the ball, nice and smoothly. And the white ball came back and struck the cushion here. So we know where that one went. And now I'm going to play exactly the same shot from exactly the same place, but this time I'm just going to raise the bridge ever so slightly. Just ever so slightly, so my striking point is slightly higher than bottom. Here we go. Okay, now we're way down here. Okay, here we go. This is number 6, a little bit higher than 7 and 8. Here we go. And the white comes down to here. Now, we'll just go slightly lower than dead centre on the ball. Just slightly lower. You'll probably find that the white will go directly down the table, and then I'll come back this way. Okay, here we go. Just slightly lower than dead centre. And the white ball hits over there. Okay, we'll now go just a little bit lower than that. A little bit lower on the white. Here we go. And the white ball hits over here. Okay, now we'll go just a little bit lower on the white. So we hit just to the left of this yellow ball over here. Down a little bit lower. And there we go. So the ball hits here. All right. Now we'll try and put one between these two reds here, just by going a little bit lower on the white. Here we go. Right in the middle there. So as you can see, you can go anywhere you like, any angle you like, just by hitting the white higher or lower. The one we haven't done yet is dead centre on the white, which is a stun shot. So we'll just do that now. Dead centre on the white ball, which should go just above that yellow over there, between the yellow and the pocket. Here we go. And it went right between the two. So as you can see, you can go off that shot there. We can get the white to take any angle we like, across to there, over to here, and you're going directly to where you want to go for your position. You may want to bring a dead ball off a cushion, you may want to open a pack up, but you're being creative. Okay, we're now going to try and complete the arc by playing topspin. Now I have a different theory for topspin, and we must remember that we do have a smaller and lighter white ball hitting a bigger and heavier object ball. The white ball's 1 7/8 inches, the object ball's 2 inch. Now when I play topspin here, naturally the smaller ball's going to bounce back off the object ball before it goes forward. Now just to help reduce that throw off is one of the few times I use a tighter grip, and I increase the momentum of the swing as I want the white to throw wider. So by tightening the grip and not using an awful lot of momentum, I can actually reduce the throw off of the white. So here we go, through the white ball, and you can see where the white ball struck the cushion right there. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the balls back in exactly the same position. I'm just going to loosen this grip off here, just not totally loose, but just loosen it off. It was tight, that shot. Just loosen it slightly and just increase the momentum of the swing slightly. Here we go. And as you can see, the white ball's now struck the cushion over here. Now we'll do one more, a nice loose grip at the back, and a nice momentum with the cue, and we'll go through here and put a ball between these two reds over in this corner. Loose grip, increase the momentum of the swing, and there we go, right down into the corner. So as you can see, without going using side, we've gone straight down the middle of the white ball. From that set shot there, we can go anywhere we like, virtually in a straight line to where we want to go. It'll reduce the amount of times you snooker yourself, because you're reducing the distance the white travels. You're going as the crow flies in a straight line. You snooker yourself less often, as I mentioned before, going off less often, knock the opponent's ball in by mistake less often, all that type of thing. And at the same time, you're being creative, giving yourself a chance, you're potting the ball you're going for. We haven't talked about side, you may notice, up until now, but that's for accomplished players, very, very accomplished players' side, and for anyone else to use it is going to get them into more trouble than it's worth to know. So by striking the white centrally, you're not jeopardising your ability to pot the ball. I've always got a theory that I try to abide by. It's not always possible, but if you stick to this theory, you'll find it's a hell of a lot easier. We've talked quite a bit during this clinic that to try and reduce the distance the white travels. Now, a question I always ask myself when I'm playing, no matter whether I've got 3 balls left on the table or 7 balls left on the table, is can I pot out? Can I win the game from here? If the answer is yes, the first thing I do is look for my worst ball on the table, and I work out which is the best ball to play to be able to bring that out from its bad position into a more potable position. I also divide the table into 3 sections. I've got a third up here, a third here, and a third down that end, and you'll normally find that the black ball is in the top third of the table. Not always, but generally. It started off in the middle of the pack. One of us is on yellows, one's on reds or big or smalls, whatever the case may be. And we're not on the black, so the black normally stays up in that third of the table. At any given time when I do decide, yes, I can win the game from here, I try to get down the far end of the table as quickly as I can and gradually pot the balls in that third of the table, then move into the centre and move towards the black. That way you're going to reduce the distance the white travels. You don't have to pot a ball down that end and run all the way back up here and all the way back down there. That's when the trouble starts. We've got a very congested game here. We've got 15 balls on the table in an area half the size of a billiard table or a snooker, where they play snooker on, which has only got 6 more balls than us. So it is a congested game, so you've got to try and work out a way to do things easier for yourself. Now, what I'm going to try and do for you here is pot these balls in order, or not necessarily in order, but if I do get out of sequence, I'm going to go back and clean up before I go forward and try and work my way towards the black. Now, just before I do that, I just want to warn people of one trap, and it's a big trap that people fall into, and that's potting balls for no reason. I don't like to pot a ball for no reason, and particularly what they do after the break is they pot balls of theirs that are in the third section, the middle section of the table. Now, if they'd asked themselves the question before they started, the answer would have been, I can't pot out from here. But what they've just effectively done is not being able to pot out. They've potted 3 or 4 balls in the middle section of the table. So later in the game, if they do get into a situation to pot out, they finish up with balls down there and balls down here, which means their white has to run further. And of course, the opponent's got a lot of balls still on the table as well. You have to zigzag in and out of. So try not to pot balls for no reason, particularly in the middle section. You may need them for stepping stones later in the game when you have got an opportunity to pot out. Okay, here we go. I'm just going to play little shots here. I want you to keep an eye on the distance the white travels, the little screw shots, the little stun shots. The white's not going to be a long way from the next ball I need to pot, and that's all going to make it easy for yourself, and you have to relay that back into a game. Okay, here we go. Notice the white's not running very far. We're trying to keep it under control. Okay. Okay. And we're on the black. Now, The important thing there, of course, is the white hardly travelled anywhere. So you give yourself every possible chance. You're in a situation where you're hardly going to make a mistake because you're not getting into a danger area where the white has to travel a long way, kiss another ball, all that sort of thing. So, yeah, just practice that as much as you can. You'll get a lot of confidence from it as you learn to pop more balls. And from your practice and your confidence, any person that gets a little bit nervous in a game, you'll find that as your confidence increases, your nerves decrease. That's bad nerves, of course. It doesn't hurt to have a couple, but it won't have an adverse effect on your game as your confidence improves. I'd like to answer quite a few common questions I get asked as I travel around. How to break, how to avoid in-offs, how to play balls over cushions and other balls. A lot of people ask me what's the best weight of a cue to buy and what's the best size tip to get and all that sort of thing. So I'm going to start off with by answering them. Another one too, by the way, is quite a few captains of clubs in the towns I go to have asked me on a bit of advice for how to be a better captain. I've been fortunate enough to captain a number of state teams in Queensland, Victoria and WA and of course the Australian team a number of times. And the one thing I found is it's very important to have team harmony. The first thing I do as captain, the first team meeting we ever have is I bar players from commenting on other players' games. I think they feel like they're equals, and when an equal starts telling you what you should have done and which shot you should have played, it can add a bit of a dampener on the team spirit. So I've got a ban on that. I think it's the captain's job to tell a player what he's doing wrong, not his teammates. And the other thing, of course, is team selection. Unfortunately, we do get some players at times that they don't like being dropped from the team, but they don't mind if one of their teammates do. And I think that's very selfish, to be honest. And sometimes the thing that highlights that is the fact that a lot of players do overrate themselves. They feel they're a better player than other players that are in the team. But when they get, whether they get selected or whether they don't, is judged by other people, not by themselves. So usually it's a group of people, captain, vice captain, or whatever, and they've usually got a better idea on what the player has. So try and be fair to your captain, and most of us aren't bad fellas when you get to know us. And yeah, just accept that sort of thing. I remember once Alec Evernatis, a great captain of Australia, asked me to sit down and have a spell in one game in the world titles for another player, and it was an honour. It was an honour to sit out and let this player play. And I think everyone should look at it that way. With the break, I'm going to show you a way I break. And once again, everything I do and everything I show in this clinic is how I do it and what suits me. I've always encouraged other players to go to other coaches. I don't believe that I'm the know-all that knows everything, but some techniques that different coaches have got suit different players better than others, so feel free to go and check out other coaches. But my break, the break I've got, works well for me. It helped me top the averages at a couple of World Championships, and to be doing that you have to be potting balls off the break. So try my technique. If it works for you, beautiful. If not, check out a few other techniques. Quite a lot of players are totally different to me, but they still get good results. A few other things, avoiding in-offs. A lot of people say we can't control the white and stop it from going in-off. Well, we'll have a look at that. And the other thing is, just with what we've given you to practice so far, just be careful that you only practice when you feel like it. It's very dangerous to write out an agenda where you think, oh look, I'll train on Sunday mornings from 10 till 12 and then I'll train on, because look, if you're not in the right frame of mind, you've had haven't slept well the night before, you've had a bad day at the office, you're not going to get anything out of your training. And what training's all about is gaining confidence. It's about building up percentages of shots that you get. Example, if you get a shot 5 out of 10 when you start this program, later down the track you get it 8 out of 10, and then one day you turn up for training and practice and you're not feeling well. So you go back to 5 or 6 out of 10. And sometimes that lack of confidence, you've lost the confidence, you take that into your next match. So only train when you feel like it, and make sure that you play when you feel well. Once you build up your skill level, you have to be fit enough and well enough to utilise those skills. Because if you go in there 85, 90% right, you're going to lose. I'm just about to show you my technique for breaking. Once again, there's a number of players break in a different way, all very effective, but check my way out. If it suits you, go for it. First of all, I don't use a tight grip. I don't use, as I mentioned earlier, I never ever tense this up, the forearm and the upper arm. People that try to use power and force and muscle to break, you find that the balls tend to jar up and only a few come out of the pack. You probably noticed that. So I use a very loose grip and I use a lot of momentum and a long follow through, so we go right through the white ball. I do hit from the right hand side of the centre of the table. I strike the white dead centre, which is a stun shot. Because of the power, it's still stunning when it comes down here. It strikes the front ball a half ball to the left, to the opposite side, and the stun takes it across to this cushion and back through the pack. So you effectively strike the pack twice. So what you don't get the first time, you get the second time. And the strike rate of potting balls is quite good. Whether you do or whether you don't, it's usually a good break. It breaks the balls up, it spreads them like dropping a watermelon on the ground. If you don't get one, you're in a bit of bother though if you're playing a good player. So I'll just show you my technique and hope it works for you. Just one more thing on the break. Don't lift the back of the cue up. People can't understand why the white jumps off the table. By lifting the back of the cue up, you're forcing it straight into the bed of the table. It can do a big giant kangaroo hop, and if it hits that front ball on the up, it acts as a ski ramp. So make sure when you play, you keep your cue as level to the bed of the table as you can when you're breaking. Okay, here we go. Half ball to the left, stun on the white, back through the pack. There you go. Nice break, and we're a chance to pot out from there. Avoiding in-offs is another topic that often comes up. The best thing to do when you're in a situation like we're in here, where we've got a natural in-off into the middle pocket or to the end pocket, depending where we play, which hole we're going for with the red, the best thing to do is just play bottom on the white. Right down low, the same as you would with a normal screwback shot. Now you don't have to hit the ball hard to get it to miss the in-off. What it does, it's spinning backwards, it will go directly for that pocket, and then the spin will grab and it'll curl away from the pocket. It's actually best not to hit it too hard at all. The softer the better, providing you follow through with the cue through the white, the spin will grab. If you do hit it hard, sometimes it can actually get to the pocket before the spin gets a chance to grab. Okay, so here we go, we'll just line it up, low on the white, and just drop the cue through the ball. Just drop it through. We miss the in-off by quite a distance, as you can see. We'll just try it into the opposite pocket now. Exactly the same shot. We'll play it into the middle pocket to avoid the in-off in the end here. It's exactly the same thing applies. Just drop the cue through the ball, low on the white ball, and you miss the in-off by quite a distance. We'll now try to avoid the in-off on a different shot. It's very similar, but the white ball's in the centre of the table. It's a situation a lot of people get into. Once again, just drop the cue through the ball. As long as you play low on the white, it'll give the spin a time to take before it gets to the pocket. Now I'll play this yellow ball to the right-hand corner and avoid the in-off on the left, and then I'll reverse it and go the other way. Okay, here we go. Go the other side. As you can see, we missed the in off quite comfortably. It's just one more. One more that often comes up. And that's a shot like this, where you cut the yellow into the middle pocket and you go straight in off in the end pocket. Once again, exactly the same thing applies, just drop the cue through the white ball on the bottom. And you miss the in off quite comfortably. Now we're playing a ball off a cushion, the white ball. What we need to do is bring our stance in. So we can't stand back way back here with the same stance. We need to bring this backhand in here, and we need to bring our feet in closer. It's one of the few times I use a tight grip, and it's very important to raise your elbow directly up if you can to maintain that straightforward action with the cue for your accuracy. Now, what a lot of players do is they go out like this, where they're going to swerve the cue and miss the ball. So just try and go directly up if you can, fairly tight grip on the cue, and then through the ball. The same thing applies when you're shooting over a ball as when you're playing off a cushion. Once again, bring everything in, shorter, tighter grip, and try and raise that elbow directly up so you still get that straight line to the ball. You can't do a long follow through because you're all tied up at the back here, but you must use a different bridge. You must use the finger next to your small finger and the middle finger to raise the ball above the red ball. So here we go, just nice and smooth through the ball, directly up with the elbow. There you go. Tips and cues are something that often come up in conversation with me, and a lot of players not sure whether they want a heavy cue or a light cue or a big tip or a small tip. The thing is, I can't really help you because it really is personal preference, and I remember talking to members of the Australian team one year and they had 15-ounce cues, 19-ounce cues, small tips, big tips. You just have to have a hunt around, maybe borrow a mate's cue and see what works for you. So yeah, just experiment with that sort of stuff. When it comes to chalking your cue, just be a little bit careful. You only need to do it a couple of times, providing you sandpaper your tip regularly so it holds the chalk. Just once, and then give it a bit of a turn and another one, and always knock the excess chalk off because too much chalk's just as bad as not enough. I'd like to thank Mark Roberts and Potter's Pool Hall here in Melbourne, Dandenong actually, for the hospitality they've shown me and for allowing us to use the premises for this video. I'd like to wish everyone that's bought the video all the very best. We've had great feedback from the coaching clinics I've done in person in the past. I hope that works for you as well, and next time I'm in your town I hope you can come up to me and give me some positive feedback, and maybe you've achieved something you couldn't have otherwise. So all the very best to everyone. Thank you. Dead in line, Pete?
No, it's not. Yeah.
Yeah, it is?
No, a little bit. No, the other way. The other way. The other way.
How's that?
Yeah. And what about your wrist? Do you want that like that, or do you
No,
want
I'm
it straight up?
supposed to be straight here.
Right. A bit more.
You got? Is this being taped because it's getting awkward?
No, but then just straighten your arm.
We've got to wait till it's right, and then we can start.
Yeah, we're waiting until you get it right now. Just got to straighten it, Jack. No, more. Yeah, that's straight.
Okay, we're recording now.
Okay.
Pete wants to get a back shot of me. So the stance is parted, your feet are parted, and just like that.
So what do you actually want to show? You want to show
Basically the feet.
In that case, you might be better off doing it from that end.
You can do it. You can do a sideways one as well, Pete. Oh,
A back and a side, or just the side, or you want to do
back from there. Put my fat ass in it.
I don't know about that.
Just stay the way you are.
Just tell me when you're ready.
Now, and moving your fingers up, Jack, like if you...
We can easily do both.
You ready?
Yep.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Just hang on a sorry, we'll try one from here, then we might move it in and just do a face up in a higher angle and back down.
Tell me when you're ready, mate.
We
It's
might
bloody
just-
awkward when you're down there for a while.
Yeah, well, yes. Try the same thing, but go in closer and go down.
No, but see what you were talking about firm
Okay.
grip.
All right, you're right. Just get this. We need this as well. Then it show how. Bring the thumb across and then draw.
We're rolling.
You're right. But it's just a matter of whether I can get in there or not.
Just go. Just move a bit more to the left. Yeah, it's actually
Don't be a
recording.
fucking prima donna.
All right,
prima
it's
donna.
recording. It's recording now.
It's a good point.
Yeah.
It's a good point. People, when they're under the pump, they hold their breath, and they're stressed to the max. Rightio, that do us.
Just the overhead shot of the cue.
Try and throw it up. First of all, there's three things I try to coach. The bottom lines are three things in coaching. First of all, I want to teach you how to shoot straight, which comes from your basics. Your basics have to be very sound. I'm going to go through a few things with you on that. The second thing is we want to reduce the distance the white travels. Every time you play a shot, you want to get to where you're going as shortest distance possible. And also, I want to teach us how to be creative. So we're getting into a position to pot a ball, bring a dead ball off the cushion, pot a ball, open the pack up. And we obviously try to get the natural position to do that. But just in case we don't, I'm going to show you a number of places on the white ball where you can still create the angle to bring the dead balls out, even though you haven't got the natural angle. Okay? So, particularly the one in the middle was the reducing the distance of white travels to wherever you want to go. If you can do that and learn the game that I play, which is a stun screw game, most of it's played between centre and bottom of the ball. If you can train yourself to play that style of game, it's going to help you heaps because the white ball is smaller and lighter than the other balls. So you're virtually getting a head start because it's hitting a bigger and heavier object ball before it comes back. Okay? When you start playing top spin, I'll show you what happens and where a lot of people get into trouble a little bit later on. It can work for you, but it can work against you as well. So just try and keep those things in mind as we go along. But first of all, as I said, I'm going to show you all the places to hit the white to get it to go virtually anywhere you want to go. But if you haven't got sound basics, your basic skills aren't sound, you're never going to be striking the white where you're aiming for anyway. So having the knowledge about where to hit the white ball is useless to you because you're hitting it somewhere else. Okay? Rightio. I might change the way some people play the game because we've got a few basic problems that happen and they're right throughout the game. We've got head lifters, people that lift their head. We've got jabbers. We've got people that seesaw the cue like this. You all seen that? Yeah. They go up and down, and we've got people that slice across the ball. They don't realise they're doing it, but they slice that way or they slice that way instead of going through in a straight line. Okay, best way to do it, line up the ball, get the ball, the white ball, the yellow ball, your back foot directly underneath the cue, take half a step forward, just turn this back foot slightly that way and push your bum directly back. Just bow, just as if you're bowing, just go straight down like that so you're nice and streamlined, okay? Now, once you get there, don't grab the cue too tight. All the cue does is sit in your hand. Just hold it firm enough so as it doesn't fly out of your hand when you play the shot, okay? Now don't grab this tight, I can't emphasise that too much. Because if you tense this up and tense that up and start playing shots with power and force and muscle, that's when you're going to get shoulder and head movement, okay? And as you'll notice a little bit later on, you're not going to strike the white where you're aiming for. Just let it sit in your hand, and all the shots that you play are played with momentum in the swing, not by power and force and muscle, okay? So all I do is just draw the cue back, boom, through the ball, boom, through the ball, boom, through the ball, okay? Just like a little piston, that's all that moves. Your head, everything stays still. That elbow there is all that moves. Back slowly, little pause, boom, through the ball. boom, through the ball, okay? So it's all done with swing. Now, your elbow has to be dead vertical. When you actually strike the white ball, that elbow has to be dead straight on impact with the white ball. The reason people seesaw is because they're standing too close in. See, and they end up with that angle. I'll just do it there for you for those. They're standing far too close in. See the angle they got? All they have to do to avoid that is just to go back like that, bring the bridge back, bring the feet back, and now they're spot on. Now they can go boom, through the ball. Okay? And they're keeping the cue as level as possible to the bed of the table. So what we're trying to do is get the ball to roll along the table, not force it into the bed of it. So try not to lift the back of the cue up, just let it hang in your hand. Okay? Rightio. The other thing with the back elbow is very important, is it must be directly in line with the white ball and the yellow ball. So when you come back, bang, you go through in a straight line, okay? If that elbow is slightly out, which it is with a lot of players, you're going to slice it. You're going to go like that. If it's slightly in, like that, you're going to slice it the other way. Okay, so the only way you can go through in a straight line is if that elbow is directly in line with the shot. Boom. All right, bridge hand governs everywhere you strike the white ball, not lifting the back of the cue up and down. Okay, so if we want to, wherever we want to strike the white ball, we don't lift the back of the cue up and down. What we do is if we want top spin, we just spread our fingers. We can all make a star like that, can't we? Bring the thumb across, just draw your fingertips towards your body, like that, nice and firm, but this isn't tight at the back. Your bridge is firm, but your backhand's not. Well above centre, and then through the ball. Just let it go through the ball, okay? If you want to play a stun shot, which is dead centre on the white ball, the reason it stops dead is because it's skidding. It's neither top spin nor back spin, it's skidding, okay? So we just go down. Now we push the fingertips away from our body, down to centre, stops dead, okay, come back just a fraction, just dead centre, okay, virtually stopped dead, isn't it? Okay, dead centre, it's just coming back just a tad. It's a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller and lighter than the other ball. Okay, now once again, I didn't grab the cue, I didn't pull the cue back, I didn't push it forward, I just let it swing. I just drew it back slowly, little pause, boom, through the ball, boom, through the ball. Okay, now, screw back shots. Any people here have a bit of problem with it? Inconsistent with it? Okay, a lot of people can actually play a screw back shot, but they have a lot of trouble how far the distance they want to come back. Okay, usually it's because they're belting, they're actually physically hitting the ball. And when you physically hit the ball, you're going to end up with a famous saying in 8-ball. The biggest saying of all things you'll hear in an 8-ball night is I hit it too hard, I hit it too soft. It happens all the time. Okay? That's because they're physically hitting the ball. Just let the momentum in the swing hit it for you. I'll show you where to strike it, which is going to help you come back to exactly where you want to be or round about that, or particularly into a more specific area rather than a general area. Okay? Now this backspin thing is no effort in it at all. So I want you all to get away, particularly those learners. We've got some very talented players here, by the way. Mr. Jimmy Reen, Chris Costello, all state players. We've got a few others, good friends of mine and fantastic players. There's plenty of people around to learn from. But we are here tonight for the younger ones and the ones that are still on the way up. So I hope you get a lot out of it. Rightio, forget about power and force and muscle equals distance. I'm just going to drop the bridge hand down low now and just let this cue fall through the ball. I'm just going to look at that, there's no stress in my face, there's no stress in my voice. I'm just going to let it fall through the ball, okay? There's just no effort in that whatsoever, okay? None whatsoever. And the reason most people can't do it is because they think there is effort required, okay? So not only are you going to be able to get the result, you're going to play the shot with a hell of a lot more finesse. You know when I'm coaching, and sometimes I give a player an exercise like that, for example, to do, and I say to him, pot the ball, screw back into here, pot the ball, screw back into here. I've turned around and turned my back on them. I've had my back turned. And I've heard crack, 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 crack. And then all of a sudden, I've heard kaboom, kaboom. And I've said to them, great shot. That's the way to do it. I could actually hear by the noise, the sound of the shot. You all know that now, don't you? You can all hear you can actually hear it when someone goes crack, and when they hit the wall sweetly, you can actually hear the sound of it. Okay. Now, in between centre and bottom of the white ball, there's a number of places directly down the white ball. Forget about side. For most players, side is suicide. Okay? It's going to get you into more trouble than it's worth to know. All right? You're better off not. If you do it my way, it's an easy way, and it'll often replace the need for side. All right. Just go down between centre and bottom of the white ball in a direct line. Because you're in the middle of the white, albeit higher or lower, you're still striking the white centrally, so you're not going to jeopardise your ability to pot the ball. Once you start putting side on the white's going to curve in transit. And how much it curves depends on how much you put on it, how hard you hit it, whether you jab at it or not, and quite often that's the reason we miss the unmissable shot. Okay? Rightio. Now, if I hit the white dead centre like I did before, it's skidding. Remember? It stops dead. Like that. When I struck it down low, it came straight back into here, even though I only tapped it. Now what happens is, as soon as you get past the curvature of the ball, the widest part of the ball is dead centre, when it's skidding, as soon as you get back, I'll just use the black as the white ball, as soon as you get slightly underneath the centre of the ball, which is just there's your bridge hand for dead centre, just drop it a fraction, just half a Q-tip. Just drop it, just push your fingertips away from your body, through the ball. It will do perhaps one revolution backwards before it gets to there and pop back to there. If you strike it slightly lower, it's going to do 2 revolutions and pop back to here. If you strike it lower, it's going to do 3, come back to here. Okay? When you hit the white in the centre, the ball's skidding. The lower you hit it below centre, the faster it spins. So where we often make a mistake is a lot of players know that if you strike the white down the bottom, it makes the white come back. I know that. We all know that. But what they tend to do is when you want to come back just a little bit, they hit it down the bottom soft. You want to come back a bit further, hit it down the bottom harder. You want to come back a bit further, down the bottom harder. It's too fickle. It's far too fickle. Hit it too hard, hit it too soft all the time. They want to come back that far, they come over here, or they end up here. Okay? I'm just going to come back just a little bit. I'm just going to drop the bridge just slightly below centre, just slightly below centre. There you go. Okay? So you're going to come back into a more specific area rather than a general area. General areas are dangerous. They can get you, how many times you've been in a situation you just rolled that little bit too far? How many times you see a player get down like this, oh, not sure whether I can get it or not, and, you know, don't get into that situation. Or really, reduce the amount of times you get into it by trying to play between centre and bottom of the ball. The lower we go down, the faster it spins backwards. Here we go, a little bit lower, come back there. Now that was the same speed as I hit the ball when it come flying into the pocket. Okay, we'll just try and do one in between there. Yeah, that just come back a little bit further than the first one. But you can come back anywhere you like, and it'll just turn around. And even if you hit it too hard, I'm just going to hit this ball too hard. Just below centre, okay? Just below. You still come back around about where you want to be. You see what I mean? Because the ball's still doing the same amount of revolutions from point A to point B. It doesn't matter how hard you hit it. So even if you do overhit the ball, you're still going to end up around about where you want to be. Okay. Here's a little exercise for you. This is what happens when you play bottom on the white ball on an angle shot. I better fuel up. Just hang on a second. I bet Ian wished I was just talking to him at 7 o'clock this morning. Okay. Here we go. I'll just put a little mark here. Okay, a little mark there. Little mark here. Now remember, no side. Forget about side. Okay. I did this with Phil Riley. Jimmy Green and Chris Costello know Phil Riley well. Phil's a fantastic pool player. He's won South Australian state titles. He won Australian 9-ball titles. He's done all sorts of things. And he couldn't believe it when I went through this with him. And a couple of his mates reckon he was mad for talking about what we're doing here now. And then when he went over to England in 2000, I think it was, Quinton Hand won the World 8-ball title. And Phil Riley came back to Australia and he said he missed 3 balls in about, I think he played 15 frames. He missed three balls and he never once saw him play side on the white. Not once. Okay? Because he's not playing position for it. Once you get into the habit of using side, you're playing position to use a bit of side, to get into a position to use a bit more side. It gets you into more trouble. It's worth now. Okay, here we go. Top spin. Just nice and smoothly now. I'm just going to, one of the very few times I tighten the grip a little bit. It'll help reduce the throw off of the white. Okay? Remember, we've got a smaller and lighter ball hitting a bigger and heavier ball. It's going to go bounce back off that ball before it goes forward. If we just use a tighter grip, just nice and smoothly, it'll reduce how far that ball throws off, okay? Now, I'll get back to a bit more on that in 2 seconds. Now I'm going to play this ball dead centre, stun shot. Okay, dead centre on the white, here we go. Okay, we went up there, okay? Now I'm going to play it as low as I can possibly go. We're hitting the white on the left-hand side to get it to go to the right, but it's spinning backwards as quick as it can spin, as fast as it can spin, okay? Low as we can go, and we come back through here, okay? Now, you don't have to be Einstein to work out what happens if I strike the white halfway between centre and bottom. Now, once again, I can't stress enough about the basics, because if you lift your head, if anyone lifts their head or anything like that, you're not going to strike the white we're aiming for. Okay, here we go. Between centre and bottom, there's centre, there's bottom, there's the middle. About where I want to be. Okay. Straight up the middle. Okay? Now, just with those head lifters, people that lift their head, I want to show you something. I want to show you how to avoid it. Okay? When you lift your head, everyone's seen this or done it. You know how when we're playing, excuse me, mate, when we're playing bottom on the white, you often see in a game a player, you know they want the white to come back a long distance, and they load up and they're going to belt the hell out of it because they want it to come back a long way. And they belt the hell out of it, and it either stops dead or it only comes back a little bit. That's because they hit the white up near the centre or just below centre, even though they're aiming on the bottom. And what they've done is they lift their head. Now what happens when you lift your head, your cue is like a motorboat in the water, and it's just idling. And when the boat's idling, it's dead level. As soon as you gun the motor, the back of the boat goes down, the front of the boat comes up, doesn't it? And that's exactly what happens when you lift your head. When you're aiming down the bottom of the ball, as your head comes up with the shot, you tend to push down on the back of the cue slightly as you go through, which raises the front of the cue. So you actually hit the white somewhere between, halfway between bottom and centre, or up towards the centre of the ball. So you never come back as far as you want. So you must stay perfectly still. Now, to avoid that head lift, this is how you do it, okay? When you line a shot up like this, if you can pick your bridge hand up like that, you can lift your head. If you can go like that, you can lift your head. But if you just bend a little bit more weight on that front knee and slide into the shot a little bit more, I can't lift that hand up now. I can't pick it up off the table. So I can't lift my head either. Okay? Keep that one in mind. It's a good one. All right, now, where's our balls gone? We've gone to there, to there, to there. Where did the other one come? Up here, did it? Up here somewhere? Bottom? Okay. Watch what happens now. What I'm going to do with the top spin, I'm just going to relax the grip at the back and I'm going to increase the momentum of the swing. I'm not going to take it right off. I had a fairly tight grip, remember that? I said to you I very rarely use a tight grip. The only time I use a tight grip is when I'm shooting over a cushion, shooting over a ball, or I'm trying to reduce the throw off of the white. And even if you use a tight grip and if you hit that hard, it's still going to throw a lot wider. Okay? So I'm just going to increase the momentum of the swing now and loosen that grip off a little bit. Okay, we went over here. Now I'll just put one in between the yellow and the red for you because I used a lot of momentum then. So I'll just try and play it with a little bit less momentum. There, in between the yellow and the red. Okay? Wasn't exactly dead straight, but now what was that one there? That was a stun shot, wasn't it? We'll just go slightly below stun. Straight through the middle of these two. See that? Right, we've got any more balls? I'm tipping they're in that one. Okay. Ronnie-o.
You've been a good tipster over the years, Jack.
My bank balance doesn't say that. Okay. Ronnie-o, now we're just going to go. We'll just take them up just a little bit further. That's the line they're in. We're just going to go a little bit above the bottom of the ball now with the bridge hand, okay? A little bit above the bottom of the ball. Now we should come back between these two yellows. Remember that as low as we could strike it, hit there. And then, where was that one? Halfway between bottom and centre or something. Out there. Straight through the middle. Okay? So you can virtually go anywhere you want to go just by hitting the white higher or lower. Now, you can go there for your position. Alright? You can go over here to bring a dead ball off the cushion. You can pot that, bring that ball off the cushion. You can pot that and bring that ball off the cushion. Okay? You can open the pack up. You can open the pack up. Open the pack up, open the pack up, open the pack up, even though you haven't got the natural angle. Okay? So keep that in mind because it helps you just virtually anywhere off to the left of the ball. You can go anywhere you want to go. Okay? Now, I'll just show you one more. I'm not going to do all the shots for you, but because I think a few have to go soon, and we've also got a raffle to draw. This shot here, if you remember the theory that I've showed you, if you play top spin here, let's just look here. This way I play opens up a hell of a lot more options to you. Okay? I'm just going to play top spin. Top spin goes there. Now I play a stun shot. Okay, dead centre. Dead centre goes there. Look where the white's headed. Alright, down to there. Remember that? Now, I'm going to go as low as I can possibly go on the white. Okay? So we've got top spin, 1, as low as we can go on the white. Okay? Look where it landed. Remember that? Remember that spot? That's where that other one was heading for. Okay, I actually took that out a little bit too far. That's actually a fraction higher than where I can go, as low as I can go. This is as low as I can go. Into this pocket. Okay? That's 8. That was 7 I just played there. All right, we'll play 4. Remember, we're going directly to where we want to go. We'll go down to 4. Down to the middle of the table again. Remember that? Round about the middle of the table. Okay. There's the black. Now, this is your last ball on the table. And you want to get, it's your last ball on the table. Okay? You want to get position on the black? You play number 4. Number 4 is just 4 spots down from the centre of the ball, around about halfway between centre and bottom of the ball. Okay?
Jack, what number is it on the clock?
It's not on the clock, Jimmy. It's just straight down the middle of the white, between centre and bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 I've got. For the people that started, like you remember, like the fellas are just learning and the girls, I've just got the 4 spots, the top spin, the stun, halfway between centre and bottom. So, and now we're just filling in the gaps for the people that are a little bit more advanced, mate. Okay?
That's
Rightio. Number 4, about halfway between centre and bottom, is going to take you straight down to here. for position on your black, okay? But you can't play number 4 because there's a ball in the road, okay? So what you do is you play number 5. You play number 5, a little bit lower, comes off here, comes down through here, and lands here. You're on the black, okay? You can't play number 5, there's a ball in the road. So you play number 6, pot the ball, you come down and number 6 is here, goes over to where number 5 is. You're on the black, can't play number 6, ball in the road. So you play number 7, pot the ball, come down through here, like we did before, remember? When I thought I was doing 8, I just had that yellow ball out a little bit too far. You're back to here again. Can't play number 7, ball in the road. So you play number 1, stun shot. Boom, boom, you remember that? You remember me saying that? So, when you get in that little situations in a game where you think to yourself, all I can do is this, or all I can do is this or that, all of a sudden you can do this or that. All of a sudden you've got all these other options open up to you. Okay? A few things I want you to remember. Try not to lift your head. I have told you how to avoid that if you want to. It does feel a little bit uncomfortable once you try it, and I've got to tell you I don't do it because I'm slack Jack. I'm playing exhibition pool and shit. I can lift my head, but it costs me sometimes too. Don't jab at the ball. Make sure you always let the cue come back, little pause through the ball. Just let it swing. Play the shots with momentum, not with power and force and muscle. Don't tense that back arm up. But don't have it too loose either. Make sure your elbow's directly in line with the shot so you get a nice swing through. You're not standing in too close so you seesaw, okay, and your elbow's not out so you slice the ball. You go through in a straight line. All right? I hope you've learned a fair bit. Wish as well. Sorry I'm not playing too flash tonight, but I've had some sort of ordeals. I get locked in a lot of hotels instead of thrown out. So it's catching up with me, I think. Either that or I'm getting too old. I'm sure Chris Costello will tell me something about that. So you're getting too old, you silly old bugger. Okay, anyway, I hope you do well out of that. And I'm sure if you just practice it, you'll get good at it. You know, a lot of people are going to say, well, you're not in exactly the same position in a game. Your mind's tuning into what the white can do. All right? And you're going to get into a game one day and you're going to get on an angle and you're going to go, oh, that's just a little bit too high, a little bit too low. I get people ringing me back all the time. They did it, they persevered and they got it. And they potted that ball and they brought that ball out and they opened the pack up and all that sort of stuff. Okay? Learn to be more creative. Anyway, good luck and I hope you do well. A number of things that, no, I've lost it. Forget it. Sorry. What's next, Pete? I'm just thinking. There's the other one. We'll get it. Head lifters, jabbers, slicers.
My name's Jeff Brunsma, and I'll have great pleasure. Fucked it up right from the word go. Sorry about it.
That's all right.
Nice little pause on the backswing and through the ball. Come back and hit me. Okay, now we've got to put that thing there so as I can explain that before I start doing these shots. Where did it go?
Oh, over here. Just hold on for a moment. We'll stop it.
We'll now talk about the bridge hand. Sorry, you're not ready? Okay, stuffed it up.
Hello, and thanks for joining us. My name is Jeff Brunsma. In the next, no, I want to fucking always revert back to that fucking time. So I'll just get out of my fucking mind.
Good shot, Jack. For fuck's sake. Can we cut that one?
My name's Jeff Brunsma. As we go into this, I'm still reverting back to that fucking time fucking thing.
Just a nice smooth stroke through the ball. Fucking kidding me, aren't you? Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, shit, Jack. Can we do that again?
Hello and welcome. My name is Jeff Brunsma, and welcome to Jack Halligan's 8-Ball Coaching Clinic.
Check, cancel that, mate. Fucking Jesus Christ. Okay, 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 okay. Now, okay, 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 here we go. Okay, 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 here we go. Okay, 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 here we go. Okay, 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 here we go. Okay, now, okay, here we go. 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 Nice and smooth. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. So here we go. Here we go.
That was pretty rough, wasn't it?
6 balls in one shot. Here we go. I'm going to play the red ball onto the black ball. I'm going to put the black ball and the red ball in this pocket. Steve, you think I can plot the black ball from there, mate? Yes. Okay. I'm not only going to plot it for you, Steve. You can tell me which hole you want it in. Okay? Now, do you want me to put it in that one, this one, or this one? Any one of those 4 holes? This one here? Okay, Steve's picked this hole here. All right. Black ball in that pocket. Here we go. Here we go. All right, this shot here, I'm going to play this red ball onto the black ball. I'm going to put the black ball in that pocket. All right, here we go. Got him. Got a yellow as well. 2 yellows. Couple of bonus points. Couple of bonus points, eh? Now, I need, who can we get? Who can we get here? Hello? Oh, sorry. Oh, you did a trick shot for me, didn't you? Jimmy Rain. No, Jimmy Rain. Jimmy Rain. Yeah. Okay, sorry, mate. You'll do. Pick a, sorry, yeah. Pick a colour, mate. Red, black, or yellow. Which one do you want? Red. Okay, he's had a choice of 3 balls. He's picked the red ball. Is it Spiro, is it? Yeah, Spiro. I've got another pack of cards here, mate, that are going to remain in their pack on the side of the table, okay? You saw the cards all fanned out before the start. The guys put them there, Brent and Benny. Put them there, not me. All right? And you had a choice of 3 balls. You picked the red one. All right, now I'm going to break the pack. Spiro. And whichever card the red ball lands closest to, I want you to turn it over. Can you do that for us? Okay, here we go. Okay, mate, which is the closest card to the red? Turn him over. It's the King of Hearts. The King of Hearts, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, Spiro, I've got nothing up my sleeves because I've got no sleeves, have I? Eh? Yeah. What I'm going to do, mate, I'm going to take these cards out of the pack here, like this, okay? And I'm going to go through the pack, Spiro. like this. You can see all the cards are all face up, are they not?
Yeah.
All the cards are face up, aren't they? Hey? There's one card in the pack, mate, that's face down. Can you all see that? Show us what it is, mate.
I think I have.
There you go. No worries, mate. Thanks for your help. Don't think about it before you go to bed, guys. Before you ask me how I do it, I only get that shot once in every 52 shows. I knew I was due tonight because I've stuffed up the last 51. Right. You can all see where the black ball is? What I'm going to do, I'm going to play this red ball. I'm going to play this red ball here onto this yellow ball. I'm going to put the black ball in this pocket. It's called the bullshit shot. Here we go. Don't blink or you miss it. Keep an eye on the black. There you go. Okay. What Phil's going to do, he's going to hit the red ball onto the yellow balls, and we're going to put the black ball in that centre pocket over there.
Where you go?
There you go. Beautiful. Thanks, mate. Okay, here we go.